What is going on, everyone? Spurs have been beaten 4-1 in the North London derby, an embarrassment at the Emirates for Tottenham Hotspur. I'm here with Ash and Marlon to dissect what was an absolutely horrendous day for Tottenham fans today. Losing our unbeaten away record as well this season in embarrassing fashion. And we pretty much got all we deserved today. We came into this derby with no kind of intent to do anything on the pitch. We sat back, waited for Arsenal to basically create the chances. We gave them all the momentum. We gave them all the possession. We had no sort of idea to attack, no sort of intent to attack, no sort of intent to win the ball back or press them. It was all about containment. It was all about trying to basically get a 0-0, essentially, from what I could see. Get the ball from Vicario on the halfway line from goal kicks and lump it into the penalty box. That seems to be the game plan today. It seems to be hitting hope, and it was embarrassing to watch. We changed the formation. It looked like we had a game plan, but there was no game plan on the pitch today. And it's turned out to be a really embarrassing performance, embarrassing defeat. And you got to say, with recent games, pressure is going to mount on Frank with the performances, how they're not going in the right direction, put it that way. The performances are not going in the right direction, especially when we face the better teams. We're very much struggling to even have a foothold in the game. We're struggling to have a shot on target. We did score today. It was literally a goal out of nothing from 40 yards from Richarlison. It's not like anything we created. So, a goal out of nothing was all we could muster. We had so little kind of possession in their half. We had a 10-minute spell after we scored, and that was it. It was shocking from start to finish today. And Arsenal, worthy winners. They extend their lead to 7 points at the top. We've helped them go 6 points clear in first place, and it's been a very, very difficult day for all Spurs fans. But guys, we'll start with you, Ash. What was your immediate gut reaction to that?
As a hat trick.
Oh man.
He just played a different game. The level of finishing, that was clearly, I wouldn't even say the difference, but you could just see the quality that they have. We're just miles behind in terms of what we have on the pitch. I think if he was going to go defensive, which I thought he tried to do, I thought that game plan went wrong because we were nowhere near them. We were getting overswarmed in the midfield. I thought we were too light in the midfield. I thought the players that we brought on in the midfield two of the 3-4-3, we were always being outnumbered. They always had an extra man. They always looked like they had more than one pass available. Whereas when we had the ball, we didn't have an option. Straight away, as soon as we got the ball, we got swarmed. Didn't have any out ball. Balls weren't sticking. Second balls, we weren't winning. The gaps, the distances, the spaces, the running, the intent, even the attacking patterns of play was non-existent. We had nothing going forward. We couldn't even win a little corner or a little set piece. And when we did get a little set piece, as you said already, Sim, we were wasteful. Those balls were ricocheting everywhere anytime we tried to keep hold of it. And like, as I said before, the intensity, for me, that's what was really worrying. And it's not like we haven't seen this before. The performances have been wrong all season, and finally it's caught up with us in our away performance. And the result has matched because we've been really bad, I would say, over these last... I couldn't say we've been really good, apart from maybe Copenhagen.
The first two games of the season, Burnley and Manchester City are probably the best two performances we've seen. And then Bournemouth happened, and it's been downhill from there.
Simple.
And that's been pretty much it.
I wouldn't say like there've been some good performances.
But when we say good performances, like let's take the Everton away game where we won. If it wasn't for the set, but West Ham again for 60 minutes we were poor, and then they got some man sent off, and then we turned up, and then Everton away was set pieces. Leeds, Brighton again. We were poor in the first half, and then we got back into the game. And it's been consistently, there's been more poor performances. There's been spells where we've been okay. Because let's take the Man United game. We were poor, got the 2 goals, and then we conceded at the end. That's been our season. There's been slight little spells in the season where we've been okay. Even Leeds away. How good were Leeds in the first 10 minutes? We got Tell scored against the runner play, and then we were okay. And that seems to be what it is. And I think the Manchester City game, once we saw that performance, we all thought, okay, this is where it's going to happen. But ever since, and I always say this, ever since Bournemouth did a number on us. Every single one after that, like the home form's been absolutely awful. Wolves, their first win should have been against us. We got away with that one, and we're sitting here mid-table, and we're probably thinking, actually, when you look at it the whole season, it's not been great. The Newcastle away game in the cup was terrible, and this is where the signs started to show. And I think at the moment with Frank, look, I think for a lot of us Spurs fans, we were told he's meant to be this tactical genius. He changed it today. Don't get me wrong. However, the personnel for what he changed, I don't think worked for him, because I don't think Richie and Odegaard were the right two to have when you're trying to do what he was trying to do in that first half.
Do you think that it was right for him to rest Porro, because he's been playing literally game in, game out every week? He's been playing.
I think I understand the plan, because if the plan was to get a dog in Spence flying forward and using their pace,
didn't see that,
right? Then I understood it. But if you're not going to do that, then you might as well play Porro. Because if you're going to have him deeper anyway, if you're going to get Spence staying back, you should maybe have Porro so he can help out in the build-up. He can actually pass the ball, and actually you can have a threat. And also, delivery from set pieces was non-existent. Today. Was shocking. Maybe if Porro was on the pitch, that could have helped. But I understood if you put Spence on, first of all, helps out defensively, and also if you're going to spring on Arsenal and you're going to attack them, okay, maybe he can provide some width down the right hand side, and maybe he can help get forward. But we didn't see that at all. We didn't see him creating any width. Neither with the doggy, apart from maybe bits in the second half. We barely saw him getting forward. So I don't understand the plan to play these wing backs if you're not going to allow them a bit of license to get forward and support the attack.
Yeah, because now we probably won't see this formation for a long time now.
But the problem is, like, this defensive formation it could have been okay to play, but let's take that first goal where we don't literally have a player on Mourinho. We literally allow him the freedom to do. That's not how you play a defensive type football. That's not exactly that.
Right. It's all right to be. You can be defensive. That's fine, or pragmatic. But you still have to have a little bit of intensity about you. We had no intensity. We were so passive throughout the whole game. It was like we just watching and admiring Arsenal, and it's like, okay, we'll try and block a through ball here and there. We'll try and clear across. It's like, okay, get into them. If you've got the you're outnumbering them in your own third. As soon as they get there, you got to be on them. It's like we're trying to contain. We're not trying to win the ball and spring on them. We're just containing them. We're just trying to force them away from the goal, and that was it. You got to still have a bit of intensity to find moments to win the ball and then spring on them. Spring players forward. Have some intent to attack them and ask questions of Arsenal. Make them think, okay, maybe I have to hang back here because you're going to have Odegaard or you're going to have a doggy sprinting as soon as we lose the ball. He's going to be there. So I've got to be. We had none of that, and all of a sudden, Arsenal weren't asked any questions. So the momentum and the pressure was just continuous, relentless from them, and all they were thinking about for the first hour or so was, okay, how can we open Tottenham up? Yep. It wasn't about how can we stop Tottenham. Yep. No, that wasn't even a question that entered their head. The only question was how can we get in? How can we open them up, and how can we create chances? And it was so easy for them. And as soon as that goal goes in, the game plan's over, and the game is away from us within a minute. Within a minute, it's 2-0. Within 5, if you include the second half, within 5 minutes, it's 3-0 and game over. And that's what can happen if you're passive like we were today. You still got to have intensity. Look at the first goal. Timber's got 4 players around him, right? And he's allowed to swivel, turn, because it's almost as if because Timber was turning away from goal, they were happy. It was like, okay, we'll allow you to do that. It's like, no, you still got to try and put him under pressure. Still got to try and stop him from trying to play the ball. You've still got to try and win the ball off him. It's almost as if, because we're in this like containment mode, as long as they're going away from goal, I'm fine. You can do what you want. And we're not going to even press you. There's 4 players around him, not even going to touch him. Look at Arsenal. As soon as we got it, 3 players around. And not just like, they're not there looking at us saying, okay, if they turn back, we're not going to go for you. No, they're going to run after you, even if we turn away from goal, and they're going to try and win the ball and put us under pressure. And there was absolutely no fight and no intensity throughout that whole game, and it really frustrated me. And then whenever we did get the ball in a bit of space, lump it forward to no one. Lump it forward into
that was the tactics in the first half.
No out ball.
Yeah, no out ball. Give it back to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And just a quick one as well. I'll go to you, Marlon. So I'll just take a breath, Sim. I'm fucking pissed, mate. I'm pissed. Today, against Chelsea, we recorded the lowest XG, ever, 0.07. Today was 0.07. So we matched that today.
And we scored.
So what does that say about how are we matching it again, the lowest ever level of chances created.
I get some people say Frank hasn't got the players and this, that, and the other, and other people say no, he has got the players. But my biggest problem with everything right now is that going forward, there's nothing to it, and we've added Kudus to it for who wasn't here last year, and we've lost Son. But you've got to be doing more than this in a Premier League for a Premier League team like Tottenham.
But also, for me, this whole excuse of, first of all, I don't think Frank has ever said this. I guess he has said it, but this whole excuse of, I'm fixing the defence and then we can start working on the attack. I think that's bollocks, man. I think it's absolute rubbish. That's not how you manage, because there's a relation there between attack and defence.
Yep.
You can't just work on one and not the other, and then just because as soon as you say, okay, we've worked on the defence, now let's work on the attack. Well, then as soon as you work on the attack, you're going to have to switch up the defence again, because there's a relationship there. One affects the other. You can't just work on one and then say, the other one will work on once we got the defence right. It's absolute rubbish, because the way we defend, right, you're going to defend more with the way we're attacking. So if you're not working on the attacking, that's going to affect how much you're defending and how you defend.
Yep.
If you work on the attack and you work on keeping the ball in the opposition half, and you work on putting pressure on the opposition, that's going to make you defend less. And it's common for most top level football managers. And so when I hear fans say, he's just working on the defence, don't worry, guys.
That's a cop out.
It's just a cop out for me. I think it's absolute rubbish, and I think he's got serious questions to ask with the recent performances. I think ever since you look at the performances, right, since the Brighton game. I know Brighton, we were we drew, we probably should have won that game, but since then, the performances have been seriously worrying. We got Wolves at home, should have lost that game.
Yep.
Bodo away, we were absolutely dreadful.
Because we should have smashed it.
Should have lost that game. Leeds away, we won, but it wasn't exactly impressive, but we did win the game. Villa at home, really stodgy performance and lost the game.
Yep.
Monaco away, we should have been falling down.
Yep.
Everton away, okay, we won, defended well, set pieces, won the game.
Yep.
Newcastle away, deservedly lost 2-0. Yes, we created a few chances, deservedly lost. Chelsea, one of the worst things I've ever seen. Copenhagen was decent, but it is Copenhagen. United at home.
That was poor.
And we nearly, for me, got a smash and grab. I don't think we deserved to win that game. And then you have today, which was nearly the worst of the lot. So in the last 10 games or so, there's maybe been one good performance, you can say, on the ball. Yeah. That's Copenhagen, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's really concerning for me.
The only thing I'd say in that is, and this is one thing we were told when Frank came in, and I think it's been masked over by the wins that we've got this season. When Frank obviously turned up at Brentford, and I think Bromby and that, he has terrible starts.
Are we seeing that?
But can we as Spurs fans stomach this for the next few months until he gets it right?
Well, for me, I've always said
No.
I think it's going to be difficult.
I'm asking you, Sim.
I've been pretty consistent. I think, look, I don't think it's unlikely we're going to really be hitting our stride until the second half of the season, because he's come in, he's changing the approaches. The way Frank manages is the way he likes to get his attack kind of flowing. Is he likes to build those relationships with the forward players, and he likes to see who goes well with who, and I think there was a stat today. The forward line we've used today was the 9th different combination of attacking forwards we've seen today in 12 games.
Yeah, that's
obviously going to hurt your fluidity, but I don't think today was a fluidity issue. You know what I mean? It was clearly the approach.
The approach was definitely
the problem today. But I'm going to give him a grace period. Obviously, I don't want us losing every game until the second half of the season, but I'm giving him that time to work things out. And then second half of the season, I'm expecting us to see a lot better performances.
I can't see us playing against Fulham, controlling the game. Do you know what I'm saying? For 90 minutes, me personally. And that's where you're going to see. And it's the home record as well. The home performances, not even the record, the home performances more than anything. It's what's going to rile people up even more. Even if we get some type of result against Fulham, I think that's where he's going to start.
He needs a performance against Fulham, because otherwise, to have this week, Paris.
We know it's a write-off.
Paris is a write-off already, and they've got
my man's
players
back
already
as well. Dembele's back.
Yeah, so that's a write-off already. It doesn't matter what he does; he could get a result there. But if he goes to Fulham next week and he doesn't basically batter them, and it's not a front forward line football attacking football,
today.
This is going to be in the back of everyone's mind next week. And that's the problem that he's going to have. And Fulham, he's got to pull out something. He's got no choice. He cannot come out of that with a draw.
Yeah, no, it's...
Or a loss. A draw or a loss, and people are going to lose their minds.
Look, like, what happens is, at home...
I think I've already lost it, to be fair.
No,
North London derbies kill me. I think that's the problem. I don't think straight after these.
I saw those 2 games, and I just didn't expect results from them. But again, it's the way it happens. It's the performance. That's the big telltale for me. And I remember when we were playing some of our home games, at half-time, fans were booing. That tells me enough of where the fan base is at. Do you understand? And it's getting toxic already. So try and know, against Fulham, we don't start well. We're not going, like, trust me. And this type of result is going to linger. It's not going to be like Fulham and then, everyone's happy. Nah.
It's because they're going to be top. They're going to be top. Most of them we know it's too close to home.
The way they're gloating already. Do you know how much phone calls I've had before I come on my way here? I'm talking to them. It's crazy.
And the thing is, I think before today, Frank's always, I think maybe not. I wouldn't say he's even hiding, but everyone's always said, "Oh, look, he's he's 5th, he's 6th."
He ain't got that no more. That's done.
That's the thing. We're 9th now, you can't say, "Oh, look how he's doing the league. What more do you expect?" If I told you, "Oh, we'll be 5th after this," after 12 games, I'd bite your hand off. Well, if I told you we'd be 9th, would you bite my hand off for that? Like, I think he's not going to have that excuse. So he's going to have to start winning like games consistently. But I think you're right. I think it's not even so much results, although the results have been okay by and large, like not great, but not like not terrible. Like being inconsistent, but it's more from the first game till now, right? What are we improving on? Because we seem to be conceding more chances than we were at the beginning of the season. We seem to be creating less chances than we were at the beginning of the season. Like, so what are we improving on? That's the problem.
Mate,
we're also not doing as much from set pieces as we were earlier on.
So a lot. I can see a lot of people. Some people in the chat are going, "Come on, boys, overreacting." It is Arsenal.
What do you mean? Oh, you can't overreact to a 4-1
demolition. 4-1. Arsenal haven't done this to hardly nobody this season, and they've basically scored mostly set piece goals. No. But the fact that Arsenal scored 4 goals from open play today summed it all up. And how many shots we've had on goal is very similar to Chelsea.
4-1. And man, am I saying overreacting? Huh?
Yeah. So
what do they want? A 5-6?
Yeah, 1/3 of their goals, open play goals, were scored against Tottenham, and I think
that's wild to me.
And the fact that if we had lost 1-0 and the performance was okay, I think we'd be sitting there going, you know what, they're top of the league, you can understand, but to lose 4-1 in a North London derby.
Yeah, that was our worst performance.
But I don't understand. Frank
in the Premier League.
Bold-faced lied in the press conference. He said, we're not going to go there looking for a draw. We're not going to go there not to lose.
So he went there to blood.
But he did. Yeah, I mean, how can he say that after that first half performance, like with how we approached that game? We had no plan of how to attack Arsenal. Zero plan. There was like we weren't even trying to. So I don't understand. I understand Arsenal are a very difficult team to attack. I'm not saying it's easy to go and score against them, but you can see when a team has what their intentions are. You can tell while watching the game, and we had no intent to attack Arsenal, or ask any sort of questions to them today. So I don't understand how you can sit there in the press conference and say, we had a plan to attack them. We're not going to go there. We're going to go in there and try and win. We didn't seem like that at all.
We were so open as well. Like as soon as they scored that goal, we were so open.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, because the game plan went out the window.
Yeah. Because we had to try and go for it, which I don't know if we could say that. I didn't see us going for it anyway at any point in the game.
I understand, but a 3-0 down and whatever, you just got to go for it. I understand being open then, but like...
No, I mean in the first half.
And only have 1 corner today. 1. That's just sums it all up.
Get in their half.
Just couldn't get...
Yeah. You couldn't get...
And we had to score. And we had to score from the halfway line.
Yeah,
well,
between
I say halfway line, but
you'd think like we've got 6 new players in, and they're trying to figure out each other.
But this is half of this squad is from last year. It's only Kudus
and Paulinho today.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Odegaard hasn't played much, but he started today. But as you say, as I said before, it was a 9th different attacking combination. So that does probably take its toll, and you probably need time for that to gel. And I get that. But I think at the moment, the frustrating thing is the performances don't seem to be going anywhere at the moment. They're not improving.
No.
And when the problem is when you're not really seeing a team who's looking like attacking first and then defensive second, and when the teams are not improving, when the team isn't improving, there's going to be serious questions asked. And especially the home form. I mean, today was our first loss away from home, but the home form has been atrocious, and that's already turning into a difficult kind of atmosphere in home games. There was loud boos in the Chelsea game, a lot of frustrated fans in the home games at the moment, because when you're paying high season ticket prices and you're a team with one of the biggest.
That's why he's under pressure, Sim.
Yeah, when the team
That's why.
as well, but he's managing a team with one of the biggest resources in not just the Premier League but in Europe.
Yeah, more pressure.
So he's got the biggest resources. So all this stuff like treating us like we're playing like we're Brentford is not going to cut it. We're not going to cut it.
Mate, but you say, but everyone says play like Brentford, but even Brentford play better than this.
Right, look at their attacking line. Their attacking line helped them, innit? See
but he
had to change that a couple of times in the Premier League with Tony, because obviously Tony was the main man. Because Mbeumo and Visa didn't really step up until Tony had left.
Tony left, yeah.
So it's not a case of he's got to do something here, because he's got more of a talent pool.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that.
But he's not doing anything with it. He's just like Brennan Johnson. Okay, yeah, don't get me wrong, he's not the best player, but he was our top goal scorer last year, and half the time he's sitting on the bench, unfortunately. And we're seeing Richarlison and Odegaard play out there.
If Johnson starts, he does something in this game.
Probably not. No.
Probably not, but it's because Richarlison's up there. Do you think
that was a problem with him starting Richarlison?
He couldn't play. Yeah.
The thing is, like, people compare his time to Brentford, and look, at the end of the day, he's only had 12 games here. But the thing is with Brentford, right? He's not have the same focus on him, so he can have 10 games like we'd like
which he used to.
They can have 10 games in a row like they played today, and no one's going to say anything, right? But at Tottenham, you have 1 or 2 games like this, and it's a national crisis. It's a disaster.
And then a North London derby.
And then you play a North London derby like this, and you're going to get laser focus on. So that's the thing. People don't realise they would have games like this often for Brentford. But it is Brentford, so you don't really expect.
But our attacking front three has no goals in it. Like Kudus has only scored 2 this year,
and he's not much of a goal
scorer.
Odegaard as well is not.
And Richarlison's probably doing the best out of all of them, and he's got 5 goals. And
that's not a bad total, though.
It's not a bad total, but the problem is that in possession he's nowhere to be seen, and we need better wingers.
Yeah. We need more goal scoring.
At least one of them has to be a goal threat. At least one.
But I guess a big frustrating thing is if you're going to basically set up so defensively and be so open defensively, there's going to be big questions asked. If you're going to be just like against Boda and against Monaco, where both of those games we seemed to be very pragmatic with no real intent to go forward, yet we were so open. It didn't make sense. At least if you're going to have a game plan to restrict Arsenal, right, at least make it hard for them to create chances. At least don't concede as many chances and openings as we did.
Okay, but so the question is, all right, let's try and step away from this game a little bit. Where do we go from here? What is next? How does he fix this?
He's got to play front-footed football. He's got to go more attacking because.
But that's not Frank's remit.
Yeah, I know that's not. But,
so you can't expect a manager who's never been that remit to then go and play something he's never done before.
I hear it, but let him play a double pivot or who.
Yeah.
And be defensive against a Fulham at home and not get a result as well.
To be fair, his best like when you think about his best performance at home was when it was Archie Gray. Who was it? Pape Sarr and Bergvall, wasn't it?
Yeah, the youngsters.
Yeah, all the youngsters, and that's the best performance. That maybe that's the way he goes against Fulham. Yeah. They're all fit. Maybe it's time to try something new, really new.
I still
because again, I'm going to say he's not known for his front-footed football as most. He's always been known for his counter-attacking football, and it's always been the goals that Brentford used to score used to be from angles where they were more likely to score. So the XG was slightly higher, but he never used to have many shots. When was the last time you saw Brentford pepper a team? They never did.
You've never seen them, yeah.
This is how they played, yeah.
Yeah. So and that was how they played. And
another apology from Vicario. Again, sick of these apologies. Every week they're apologising.
So for me, front-footed football is not the answer because he can't do it.
Well, he hasn't shown that that's his game.
Yeah, it's not his game.
He's not a front-footed manager, so we knew what we were getting.
So what's next? Because this is what we've got.
And look, for me, it doesn't bother me. So I think as a priority, I would like a front-footed attacking manager. But as long as you're playing effective football that's winning, or at least that seems as though it's effective. That's what matters most to me. But at the moment, we seem to be playing this brand of football, which I don't quite get. I don't really understand. It's like kind of half counter-attacking, half like mid-block intensity, but the intensity is lacking. There's very little when it comes to in-possession patterns or anything like that in terms of trying to open teams up. It's heavily reliant, it seems, on either Kudus to do something crazy or someone to do something crazy like Richarlison or a set piece. Right? And then defensively at the moment, as soon as we concede a goal, it's like the floodgates open.
The problem is...
Even Bournemouth, remember that Bournemouth game, we conceded early on and then they could have scored 5 or 3 or 4.
If Vicario got man of match.
Yeah.
The reason why we're not seeing so many attacking patterns of play, in my opinion, is because he's got an obsession of, number one, he wants to go direct and long and quick as possible, and that's why we're having so many turnovers, because the players that we have, the ball's not sticking to them. And then when we have dominated games or we've had a bit more line share or possession, when we're closer to the goal, Frank wants that, not perfect goal, but he wants the higher XG chance.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't want shots outside the box. He wants, and sometimes that slows the game down and we don't get that opportunity.
So we always have to make the extra pass.
Exactly. I remember we used to complain about that, and that used to be Arsenal's problem. One pass too much. Do you understand? And so I think that's hampering us as well. So there's a few things, but I'm not seeing enough attacking patterns of play at all. Like you just said, kudos. You see, you're relying on some brilliance from someone else. Who is that someone else? Do you know what I mean?
No,
if Richarlison doesn't do that hit, it could have been 4-0 today. Apart from that, there's nothing really much to talk about, attacking-wise.
I understand that, but I don't subscribe to all these attacking players are just rubbish and you can't do anything with them. I don't subscribe to that. Like,
no, I'm not saying that.
I know, but so there are fans who say, yeah, it's because look who he's got to play with.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
But I know you're not. I'm just saying there are fans that do say that. And I don't subscribe to that. And
Tell him, Sim.
It's not the point I was making, Sim.
I'm just saying. I'm not
Sim's got beard, he's won it.
I'm not.
You carry on.
I wasn't arguing to you. I'm just saying against fans in general. Like, it annoys me when they say that. Like, because if you look at what he had at Brentford, like he's got good players.
He had time though to do that.
That is true. He had time, but but why did he need time? Because he didn't have the money. So he was working on a budget. What accelerates the process should be money, right?
Yeah,
does that not make sense?
True. That makes sense.
So, if you add money that he has at Tottenham, that should accelerate it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, the only players he's been able to bring in of quality, I think, in attacking options has been, I'd say, kudos. Tell, again, we haven't seen enough from Tell yet, in my opinion. He's only on a loan, so he hasn't got a lot of time to show what he's about. So he has to hit the ground running.
Oh, Moani, sorry.
Moani, sorry. Not
to be fair, Moani and Solanke have been missing a lot as well. And I get that. And I do feel sorry for him on that front. But at the end of the day, Richarlison's he's got 5 goals.
Maybe he's missing Solanke really badly.
He probably is.
And Madders getting injured against Newcastle was probably...
Okay, but it's one thing missing them and them being the missing piece, yeah? But also another thing, creating as little as we have.
Yeah, we shouldn't be creating. That's the bit I don't get. Why are we creating so little? Yeah. That's the big.
If we were creating chances and not putting them away, and say, okay, then you would say,
now you're talking my language.
Then you say, okay, maybe the attackers are the problem.
Exactly.
We're not creating anything.
We're not creating at all.
Not barely getting into their half. Barely getting into their box.
That's what I'm saying.
I was celebrating touches in the box. I was celebrating them.
We all were. So that's what I'm talking about. That middle third, because there's one thing about the build up in the first part. When you're playing out from the back. But it's the middle third which concerns me.
Yeah, because Moani had a good 6 months at Juventus. He's a good player. I think
he's a good player. He is.
It's just so frustrating to watch when.
And also, I was watching these tactical breakdowns he was doing, for Sky Sports and stuff.
Right before the North London derby.
Well, yeah. First of all, that's a different question, but
why?
But he keeps saying, "Oh, I like multiple variation of approaches." I like when the player gets the ball. Yeah, and he said, "I like it when the player gets the ball. He has a running behind option and he has a short option. And all these different things." When was the last time we ever found anyone in behind?
Yeah.
Think about it. When have we ever found anyone getting in behind any defence?
That's meant to be Xavi's job.
I'm talking about the whole season.
No.
Probably Johnson against Copenhagen, right?
That's one.
Yeah, that's one. This is the only one I can
Literally,
think
not
of.
even for a goal,
What
just
about
a
Burnley?
shot.
Burnley?
No, I'm not even
No,
talking like
Burnley.
for a goal. I'm just talking how many times have we found anyone in behind for a chance?
Yeah, you're right.
It's not happened.
Burnley, we
So
didn't.
what is if
Because he favours to
it's
play
bad-
down the sides. He likes to play.
Yeah, he likes to play down.
He
the
wants to
left, I think.
avoid the central areas, which a lot of Spurs fans find frustrating because we're used to watching teams that build through centrally. And I said, look, you can play down the sides, but you just can't live there. You have to have some type of variety or alternative where you mix it up. Otherwise, it become a bit predictable and teams know how to play against you. Do you know what I mean? And if you're just playing down the sides and you're relying on set pieces, eventually that dries up. You get found out.
And we just
at this league.
and we don't have that X Factor type of player at the moment.
Exactly. And
You got to remember, this is the first time we've ever gone into a season where we haven't had a Sonny, a Kane, a Gareth Bale, someone of that level that can change a game. It's been a while, and it was always going to happen eventually. And then we've finally gone to a North London derby without one. That's what happens.
yeah, it's really showing, isn't it?
It's really showing.
All right. Yeah. No. I'm just getting some super chats, and then